Woot, 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 woot. Finally.
Finally, we late, but we reach. We reach.
We're here. Our bus came
Greetings,
late.
greetings. Yeah. We're at the bus stop. We're waiting,
Yeah.
right?
But
Delays and all of that
yeah,
happen from time
traffic,
to time.
traffic, traffic.
Yeah, but sorry, miss. Sorry, sir. We're there. You understand? Yeah.
Absolutely. Welcome everyone to Campus Connection, which is brought to you by the Heart NSTA Trust. Skill is power. A word from them now before we go any further.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Okay, where are the campus nights? Students are step up in a pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're there. There.
Yeah.
Just in case you're wondering who is here, I'm Jonathan Fletcher.
And I'm
And with
Anesta.
me, yeah. Both of us are here, vibes.
You know what? The shade. The shade. Anybody else heard that?
I'm just saying, both of us are here, and that's lovely. And I love when both of us are here.
I do
Um,
too.
yeah, it's better that way. But
Oh,
yeah,
so
so let's get straight into
let's do that.
what we have. Yeah, what's going on for today?
We have an interesting topic as always. So we're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with a healthy life balance. How do you,
Mm,
how do you balance being healthy but still enjoying life, still doing everything you need to do, fulfilling your obligations? I mean, it's going to be an interesting discussion. And we have Miss Shadeen Williamson, a teacher of food, nutrition, and health at the Port Antonio High School. We also have Loretta Dowse Collins, an educator and justice of the peace, who will be here to just kind of help us to understand this topic a little bit more. But definitely before that, we have our I Chose Christ feature with Samoya Russell of UTech. And we also have our creative block segment, which I'm looking forward to, with Mrs. Ornesia Williams Blackstock. She's an
mm-hmm.
event host, a public speaking coach, and an entrepreneur. So that's going to be exciting.
It should be. It should definitely be. Yeah, so we have a lot to look forward to for this evening's show. Um, Healthy life balance, something to really think about, something to really explore. I'm of the view that balance is a myth, but we'll talk about that some more later on in the show. I don't want to start up nothing too early.
Yeah, it might be too early.
Yeah, we're just, ease into things. But yeah, let's get straight into education news and bulletin. And this will be done by Ashara Barnett, student at the University of Technology, Jamaica.
Education News and Bulletin for Tuesday, March 18, 2025. Albertown entrepreneurs benefit from Body Care Products Workshop. Over 40 aspiring entrepreneurs and wellness enthusiasts from 14 communities in the Albertown development area in Trelawney are now equipped with newfound skills to launch or expand their businesses. This was made possible through a Body Care Products Workshop hosted recently by the Social Development Commission, SDC, under its Local Economic Development Support Program, LEDSP. The workshop was held at the Heart NSTA Trust Albertown campus. It provided hands-on training with expert insights on key areas such as ingredient selection, formulation safety protocols, and packaging for creating sustainable, market-ready body care products. Participants also received training in the writing of business proposals to assist them in accessing grant funding. In our bulletin, St. Catherine High School Proactive Lifestyle Health Fair and Expo 2025 under the theme Walking in 4D Health will be held this Friday, March 21, 2025 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Devotional concerts with ministry from Miss Shamar Jackson, Daniel Dixon, St. Catherine High Dance Group, Ruth Ann Palmer, Audia Spencer Brown, and Perry in Christ. There will be free doctor's visits, free HIV, diabetes, blood pressure, and cholesterol tests. Dental cleaning by Wellington Dental at only $2,000 for children and $5,000 for adults. Booth displays, product and service offerings by Proactive Lifestyle, Registrar General's Department, IACF Jamaica, Passion and Purity, Jamaica Information Service, Digicel, VTDI, Bureau of Standards, Consumer Affairs Commission, JADCO, Infinity Co-op Credit Union Jamaica Limited, Yummy, iCool Water, Lasco Lasoy, Lasco Food Drink, Lasco Meal Solutions, Curves, and much more. Event admission is free. Contact 876-456-7923 for more information. World Home Economics Day will be celebrated this Friday, March 21, 2025, guided by the theme Tackling Overconsumption. According to the International Federation for Home Economics, our current way of living and consuming is unsustainable. We use more resources than the earth can provide, and often more than is good for us. This overconsumption leads to health and financial problems, climate change, loss of biodiversity, and pollution. It's time for a change. Key areas for change: food. Shifting to a more plant based diet can reduce emissions and improve health. Housing. Consider how much space we really need. Use sustainable energy and adopt eco friendly technologies. Travel. Support and use more sustainable transportation options. Home economics can help guide these changes, making it easier for everyone to live sustainably and enjoy a good quality of life. The Jamaica Rugby Football Union is calling all churches, families, and rugby enthusiasts. Join them on Saturday, March 29, 2025, for the electrifying T1 Rugby Tournament for Churches happening at GC Foster College. Come and enjoy a thrilling day of tough rugby action and fantastic company for free. Food and beverages will be on sale. Be part of this unforgettable celebration of faith, sportsmanship, and community spirit. Mark your calendars, Saturday, March 29, 2025 at 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. GC Foster College. For more info, call the Jamaica Rugby Football Union at 876-326-3639 or email admin@jamaicarugby.org. Don't miss this epic event. See you there. That was our education news and bulletin on Campus Connection. I am Ashara Barnett.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
First Division Apostolic Ministries presents its 22nd anniversary service and first annual convocation. Our sovereign God calls all unto him. Sunday, December 1 at 11 a.m. Sunday, December 1 through to Thursday, December 5, 7 p.m. Choirs and praise Friday, December 6th at 7 p.m. Hosted by Dr. Patricia Holness. Online on YouTube and Facebook at First Vision Apostolic Ministries. Live broadcast on Love 101. The First Vision Apostolic Ministries, 12 Job Lane, Spanish Town.
Are you looking for unbeatable deals? Look no further. Fosrich is having a super sale. March 19 to March 30. Visit us in Kingston, Mandeville, Drexel, and Montego Bay. Discover amazing deals on hardware items, electrical items, chandeliers, flood lamps, LED bulbs, and much more. You cannot afford to miss this deal. Come shop and save at the Fosridge Super Sale. March 19 to March 30. Only at Fosridge. Open Sundays.
Okay, where are the campus nights? Students are strap up in a pride to be so yard.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection, brought to you by Heart NSTA Trust, Skill is power, right? Waiting to continue in the show. But right about now, we're going into our creative block segment, and we have with us Ornesia Williams Blackstock, event host, public speaking coach, and entrepreneur. So it promises to be quite an interesting conversation. Are you ready with Ornesia?
I guess we're not quite ready. In the meanwhile, we do have a question that we want to pose to you guys. Our question for today is, how do you define a balanced life? How do you define a balanced life? And we definitely want to hear from you. You can reach out to us. We're live on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. You can also reach out to us on our studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. You can even send us a message on WhatsApp, and our WhatsApp number is 876-997-3125. So that's the question. That's what we want to know from you. How do you define a balanced life? How do you define it? You know? And we have with us, as Jonathan said, Ornesia Williams Blackstock. She is an event host, a public speaking coach, and an entrepreneur. And I'm certainly looking forward to our discussion with her. Ornesia, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear and see me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you very well.
Awesome.
Awesome. So welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, it's an absolute dream. Moving from listener to interviewee, we feel kind of
Wow. No,
Yeah.
we feel nice.
You made it. You
We
made it.
feel nice.
Ah,
Oh,
but
boy.
amazing.
awesome. But tell us a little bit about Ornesia. Who is Ornesia? I mean, we've seen your resume. We know you come with a long list of qualifications, but
It's
tell
what
us a
I'm
little bit about
saying.
yourself.
What does this resume look like?
Ah,
I am Ornesia Blackstock. First of all, the most important title, I'm a child of the living God. I'm a
woot,
Christian.
woot.
Yeah, man. Big up the big God, capital God.
Yes,
Yeah. And so that
absolutely.
for me is the most important thing. Because I am a Christian, the other things flow. I am an educator for over 10 years now at the Westwood High School. I'm a wife, a mother, event host, keynote speaker, author, public speaking coach, and consultant. He, she, Baba, black sheep. You know the list.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Wow. And I think you're forgetting one important thing. She's also a singer,
Who tell
right?
you where that
Yeah,
from?
man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I just realized something, and you probably don't even remember this. But back in, wow, I'm not going to say the year, but a lot of years ago,
Oh wow.
our niece was actually a part of the Manchester High School Altogether Sing Choir. I
Yes, I
could
What?
be
was.
wrong. I could. You were okay. Good. Says the right person. I don't forget faces. I don't forget faces.
Wow.
You're
Yeah.
part of the choir?
So
Jonathan, I'm
no,
officially
no, we're not
afraid
gonna
of
talk
you.
about that. We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, man. But so this leads us to now to the next question. How
Wow.
long have you been a creative in your mind? Um, yeah, when you realize that, me kind of have a creative thing about me.
Funny enough, about 6 years ago, and that's how old Value in the Voice is. So I own a public speaking company called Value in the Voice, Public Speaking
Hmm?
Services, and more. So
Wow.
really and truly, never advertise myself,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't until 6 years ago that it became official. But prior to that, I had a lot of public speaking opportunities, but I never considered it anything of grandeur or being a creative of such. But I can recall this particular moment in time. A friend of mine, she was working at Westwood at the time. She invited me to host her wedding, and that would have been the first
Hmm.
of many weddings. I may say, Miss Me, I've
Wow.
never done this.
Wow.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
used to I don't know how to work that kind of crowd. Give me a concert, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
An award ceremony, yeah. A banquet, yeah. A wedding, no. But you know,
Wow.
I believe in you. So go ahead. And since then, it has really catapulted me into many spaces and on
Mhm.
many stages that have really opened the door for me to add value into spaces and in people's lives. And for me to also allow people to find the value in their own voice.
So,
Mm.
I mean, I first of all, I'm listening to you, and you have an amazing talking voice. I can only imagine what you sound like singing. So,
Oh,
so tell us a little. What's your? Is she blushing, John Bob?
yes, I'm nervous.
So tell us. I won't ask you to sing on air unless you're comfortable doing so. But tell us a,
I'm
oh
the minister
yeah,
now. No.
I can't speak for him. I'm sorry. But tell us a little bit about just the singing aspect of Ornisio. Like, how did you get into singing? Do you like it or do you just do it? And do you have any songs out that we could actually go and listen to?
You see, this is the problem with Jonathan and the false advertisement. Him say quiet enough people think album. Not about that life, you know.
I mean,
I've
why
been
not?
singing since a baby. I come from a singing family. I come from a musical family. So my
Okay.
Wow.
father, the Reverend Robert Williams, the pastor of the Lucy New Testament Church of God, sings.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, Orain Williams, is the associate pastor down at Portmore New Testament, singer. My mommy side of family
Mm.
can sing. So I'm blessed on both sides. So it's something that I've
Wow.
been doing since I was a child. Singing before talking.
Wow. Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
If I have anything out, no, I only do music in CXC and for me SBA, I did have to, bust a tune. Otherwise, no.
I did have to bust a tune.
Yeah, that is it.
Wow. But so that's the wonderful side of being a creative. But can you bring us to a moment when you're just like, boy, me no know. You were experiencing a creative block. You were experiencing like you just not produce like how you're used to the level of work you're used to. Can you remember an instance like that?
Oh, yes, that would be about a year and a half ago. I had
Mm-hmm.
resigned from doing weddings. I
Mm.
was on a
Wow.
roll. And then I think COVID kind of put a little dent in that. And then I
Mm-hmm.
pushed pause on it and I realized, no, friend, you're kind of boring now. You do the same things over and over. There's
Mm.
nothing
Mm-hmm.
new about you. There's nothing fresh and desirable. Like you're going with the same tricks, the same tactics. And you're
Mm-hmm.
possibly going to soon have a repeat of guests that can say, all right, you're going to this year, so this year, so that year. So,
Mm.
so for me, that's when I had a block and I decided, you know what, I'm going to resign. And when I
Okay.
had put out that notice on my social media platforms, who tell me if you got this up? Who tell me, always saying people big back now, my chested broad and audacious
Huh?
about designing. Oh, I got draped up from every corner. But when I explained to people that, boy, I'm not feeling the juices like I used to. I'm not
Mhm.
feeling
Mm-hmm.
the push and the crunch. I'm really not interested in doing it anymore. And I feel, or at the time, I felt led to be doing other forms of events. Until,
Mm.
yes, the hiatus was beautiful. It allowed me to go back to my creative juices. I reached out
Yeah.
to other people. That's one of the things. I will not have all the answers. So I reached out to my
Mm-hmm.
mentor, Reverend Jermaine Johnson. I reached
Mm-hmm.
out to other MCs in the spaces and borrowed ideas and went back in. And to God be the glory, I'm still functioning in the capacity of a wedding MC.
Wow.
It's interesting that you say that because we're actually talking about a healthy life balance on this particular
Mm-hmm.
show. And as I heard you, I couldn't help but wonder, do you feel like it is effective and needed sometimes to take that break, even from something you're passionate about?
Yes,
Do you think that's important?
most definitely. Listen, you will run yourself to nothing, It can become
Mm-hmm.
so overwhelming. You can fall in love with something real deeply, but it can overwhelm you at some point in time.
Yeah.
I know I have got to a point where I took on too many events and never gave myself a break, never gave
Wow.
myself an opportunity to breathe, to
Mm-hmm.
recalibrate, to reset. And so my blood pressure went up. My
Mm-hmm.
family suffered.
Mm.
My school life suffered because I was just taking on all of these out of excitement and a little bit of desperation in
Yeah.
some instances, for fame and for popularity and brand building and so on. And when you get into that mold, trust me, it's not a nice space to enter. So it is good to stop, observe, reset, recalibrate, and re-enter this space. And you go back revived, you go back with a renewed mindset, and you
Yeah.
come with something. So as much as you love it, take a break. Your body and your mind and your spirit and your brand will thank you for it. Make people miss you
Mhm.
sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd consider you to be a multifaceted creative. In essence,
Thank you.
you hop across disciplines, right?
Yes.
So public speaking, emceeing, all of that. Um, I said earlier in the show that balance is a myth. Right? That's what I believe.
That,
I stand by that.
I may
um,
stand beside you.
yeah. How do you balance between being a wife, a mother, being active in a local church, all of that? How do you, keep things together or try to keep things together?
I like that you use the operative word try.
You try, yeah.
Because best to believe it's
Mm-hmm.
not always the balanced case. The truth is, sometimes I prioritize properly, sometimes I don't. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
some things suffer, sometimes all things prosper. How do I
Mm,
balance? I choose. I try to be wise. I'm asking the Lord for the spirit of wisdom and discernment in choosing
mm-hmm.
and prioritizing things. So, for example, in my work life, here's how I balance with working at Westwood High School and my home life. I don't take home school work. No. Ever since I got engaged in 2017, no. Any school work no come on my yard. My yard is my yard. It's not a second office.
Wow.
And my HOD
Wow.
made sure to tell me that. So I'll stay at school the
Wow.
extra hour or whatever, and Westwood's work gets done at Westwood. But when I come home, I'm
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Blackstock, the wife and the mother. I belong to my husband and my children then.
mm,
Right? So anyhow, any paper come home, mommy, it should, my child is gonna mark it, or it's just gonna get disheveled. So I'd leave them at school. And again, it's a separation between the two. For
yeah.
church,
Mm-hmm.
again, the time is usually structured. So we know on a Wednesday it's this and on a Sunday it's that. And for my
Mm-hmm.
events, I try not to take, well, of late, many have been coming in the week. How do I balance that with my work? Thankfully, I work at an institution that supports my public speaking endeavors. And so I
Mm-hmm.
will use my casual days and so on to take on those, or I'll use half day, going to work
Mm-hmm.
late or go to work and then go to those. Otherwise, sometimes, again, if I realize I have a weekend free, I'm dedicating that to my children. We're going to some river, some beach, or we're just going to stay at home and watch Paw Patrol all day. But
Mm-hmm.
I try to give everybody what they deserve, including myself, and most importantly, God. He has
Mm-hmm.
to get his time. So that's what I try to do.
Mm.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but we do the best we can so that everybody, including God, is satisfied with how I serve.
I
Wow.
love it.
Wow.
Love it. So I can't help but wonder what area do you teach in?
English language and literature, theatre arts, and communication studies.
Very on brand. Very on brand.
Very, I'm telling you. So I get the sense that you do like to empower people, to help them, to teaching them how to communicate, helping them to express themselves. Where did this aspect of your passion come from?
So in 2021, this is still fresh in the COVID season. Two young ladies were at the, two wonderful ladies who knew me from my childhood, messaged me on Facebook and asked if I teach public speaking.
Mm.
No, it's not in the caveat. I
Mm.
said, let me think about it. And instantly the Lord said, run with it. And so I said, okay, give me 2 weeks. I can put together something for you. Now, I'm going to create a whole nothingness. I can put together something for the two of you. And so I asked them
Mm-hmm.
for 2 weeks, and I came up with 4 modules, what we now call modules. So
Mm,
audience awareness, speech preparation, and managing stage fright, and event etiquette.
mm,
After doing it with those two ladies, they said, no, man, when we had their graduation, just two of them, So
right.
they had their graduation. They said, no, man, you have to open this up to others.
Wow.
I am not a naturally confident person, but I took the
You're
risk.
not?
No,
That's crazy.
I am not.
That is crazy.
I
What?
am not. I struggle with nerves and all of them something. So even coming onto this, I am nervous, but I have managed to mask it well over the years. And so I
Okay.
teach people how to do that too. So
Okay.
after I put it out there, I created the flyer, I downloaded Canva. I'm not like an artistic something about me aside, so I'm doing a grade 11. Let me do something. I put it out there. Merciful. 22 people signed up. I had people from Jamaica, Trinidad,
Wow.
Cayman. And
Wow.
in my head, me I say, you know, see like Crystal Tomlinson and them a keep
Hmm.
there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just know me as an MC and you just jump on it, so. And so from then we have moved from
Wow.
one all the way up to me closing out cohort 7 at this time, having trained over 250 people. So the
That
Wow.
is amazing.
combination of what I have learned through teaching at UWI, teaching, well, you know, when we did I study it, teaching at Westwood, I pulled that passion plus the love for public speaking, just put those two together, and I created the course, and I've been able to serve different audiences, individuals, and institutions to help them, like I said, to find the value in their voice.
Powerful.
Impressive.
Absolutely powerful. A shy person, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen.
I
Masking it
can't imagine
very
what a
well.
bold,
Naturally confident.
confident person would look like.
But
Yes, sir.
we're so very grateful that you would have been able to join us for
Yes.
Creative Block this evening inside Campus Connection. And
Thank
wish you
you.
all the very best. You know, big up yourself.
Absolutely. Looking
You
forward
know,
to the single. Just let us know when
yeah,
you
the
release it.
album, everything, you know, you don't know. Send it to
Scratch his
us. Send it
scalp.
to us. Send it to us. I will come back and, debut it on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but big up
Hello.
yourself,
You
Arnie's.
heard it here first.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Blessings to you
So
and thank
that's
you for having me.
All the best.
Yeah, man, not a problem. So that's Arnisa Williams, Blackstock event host, public speaker, and also entrepreneur. We're going to a quick
Yeah.
break. So you want to stick and stay with us for more campus connection.
Woot woot.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Are you looking for unbeatable deals? Look no further.
Neither do you. Brunswick boneless sardines are packed with omega-3 and ready to eat right out of the can. Try the hot peppers, the delicious olive oil, or the new spicy Thai chili on its own or on a cracker. However you like it. Brunswick boneless sardines. Snacking made easy, snacking made healthy, snacking made tasty. Okay, we're campus nights. Students are step up in a pride. To be sweet, yeah.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection. If you are just joining us, we are talking about healthy life balance here on the family station Love 101. Earlier, we had Ornisia Blackstock with Creative Block. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful
Yes.
interview there
It
with
was. It
her
was.
just now. And we're looking forward to even more interesting conversations as we continue in the show. Right?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
But before that, we're going to take our I Chose Christ feature, and this will be done by Samoa Russell from the UTech School of Engineering, and she's the spiritual development coordinator.
I'm Samoa Russell, a second year chemical engineering student at the University of Technology, Jamaica. Now, my word to you today is to praise and trust God in everything, and He will see you through. There are several experiences I've had where just praising and trusting the Lord, it has delivered me through so many struggles with exams, mid semesters, all those things. There was a certain semester where I had three final exams back to back, and these were courses that I had been struggling with throughout the semester, and crunch time was coming near, and I was feeling overwhelmed and stressed. And a voice just said to me to praise God even while you're here worrying. And I did. I lifted up a praise unto my God, a whole worship session, and I realized that that praise session gave me the power and the strength to block in and go through my studies, do the past papers, and go through the slides. And I realized that going into those exams, I was ready. I was ready enough to do the papers, praying to God. I knew that He was with me in the exam. And even if I didn't know exactly what the answer was, I was able to put down enough to get me through the exam, and I would have seen A's in those courses at the end of the semester. Several other experiences where I have just had to rely on praise, on the word of God, on messages from different preachers to just help me to push through with studying and push through with my work so that I can see that God is really with me and helping me to power through my studies. So, in everything, when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're stressed out and looking to say, how can God help me? I serve a God who, when you call out to Him, He gives you the strength to carry on. And so many times, He has given me the strength to carry on, even in my course. So I implore you to continue to raise a praise and to trust God in everything. I chose Christ. You should too.
Powerful, powerful testimony there from the spiritual development coordinator of UTech School of Engineering, Samoya Russell. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. All right. Wonderful. So we are about to go into our main segment. What we're
Yeah.
talking about again?
Healthy
Remind the
life
people.
balance.
Healthy life balance.
Yeah. And we still, if you haven't hopped onto our live stream, we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok. We'd love to hear your thoughts. We did ask a question earlier, and we want to know, how do you define a balanced life? Is that a thing? Because apparently Jonathan does not think so. Jonathan does not think that having a balanced life is a thing. I'll reserve my comments until
No, the people need to know. The people need to
the
know.
people need to know. I think I think balance can somewhat be achieved.
Mm.
Somewhat be achieved. Not I'm not hard and fast with it, but there are some times when you can achieve balance in your life. Let
Okay.
me just say it that way.
Across all aspects of your life.
I mean, I'm not saying indefinitely, like for the rest of your life, but
But sometime.
you'll have those good weeks and those good days where, everything just kind of working together. But then you'll have those times when nothing is working together. So I feel like it's a sometime thing, That's
Okay.
that's my take on it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But let's see what the experts say.
Yeah, yeah.
Our wonderful guests. Yeah. Who do we have to?
So we have Shadeen Williamson, a teacher of food, nutrition, and health at Port Antonio High School. We also have Loretta Dowse Collins, an educator and justice of the peace. And for the record, maybe we should give this very official definition of what we're talking about when we say healthy life balance. We are talking about finding the right equilibrium between work, personal life, well being, right? Work,
Mm.
personal life, and well being. And you're encompassing the physical, mental, and social health while still allowing time for rest, hobbies, and relationships. You know, once in a
Mm.
while we get these things right. Once in a while we get a chance to
I can safely say it has been a while. That's
yeah,
what I can say.
that's what you okay. So welcome ladies, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for deciding to come on with us today.
Hi, pleasant evening. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Good afternoon. Thank
Awesome.
you for having me.
Yes, we're so happy to have you, and we're happy to have experts, people that actually know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm,
Because Jonathan
mm-hmm.
and I were just kind of theorizing and giving our philosophies, but tell us a little bit about the whole concept of healthy life balance. First of all, do you think it's achievable? Do you think this is something that can be done? Because I don't want, us to just put ourselves out there and you guys not get a chance to do that. So let me start with Miss Williamson. Is this achievable?
Well, I would say yes, it is achievable. It depends on how determined you are.
Mm, okay.
I'm, I must say, listening to both of you, and yes, sometimes we say, this is hard to do and stuff, but um, there's a famous writer who says that 1,000 mile begins with one step. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to plan ahead. That's what we have to do. We have to plan ahead, put that budget together, right? We make that
Mm-hmm.
shopping list and stick to it. You know, funny to say,
Ooh,
yes, yes, stick to it. I
stick to
was just
it.
teaching last week, I think, budgeting with my students, and I was
Mm-hmm.
sharing with them, make your shopping list and stick to it. I know I might get a lot of backlash here from the females, but we have a tendency, we will make that shopping list and we will
Mm-hmm.
buy everything on the shopping list. But however, there are going to be things that added to that shopping list,
Every single
things that we
time.
never, every single
Every
time.
time.
We didn't plan for this, but we went down to that famous aisle, right?
Yeah.
That aisle we cannot resist. And when
Yeah.
we go down to that aisle and we see something that we did not have a matching something for, and so
Mm.
we pick up that and we pick up two more, and then we go over to the other aisle that you say, last month I didn't go over there, but I'm going over there this month. So, hello, the shopping list exploded, needless to say. But men, they don't have that challenge. You give them a
Mm.
shopping list, they go into the store. Sir Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong. They go into the store with the shopping list and they come back with everything on the shopping list, nothing more. Am I correct, sir?
mean, I would have said indefinitely, but sure, there's some truth to
Most of
it.
the times.
Most of the time, the men are better shoppers than than us ladies,
Mm.
right? Um, we become shopaholics. I have never seen where they're advertising shopaholics and you see men
You
always
know
women.
what is true?
Yes,
So,
but we have to be good to ourselves as well, and balance our lifestyle, balance our meals, and also balance our lifestyle. Go and take that vacation, right? Don't save it up,
Mm.
man. Go and take that
Hey,
vacation.
hey, you don't have to tell me twice. You don't have to tell me twice. I just
Yeah, you do have persons, say, "Oh, I'm not going to take my vacation this year." take your vacation. Your body needs the rest. Your body needs to recuperate. Your body needs to realign. All right. And of course, God has to be the center of everything. I think I'm talking a bit too much, so I'm going to allow somebody else to say something.
All right,
Go
we
ahead,
just want
Collins.
to inform our listeners that due to the budget debate earlier, we will be going beyond 6:30. So don't be alarmed if you hear us on your radios or you see us on Facebook or on YouTube beyond 6:30. The show started late as a result of the budget debate. So, things are shifted just a bit, but stick and stay with us. All right. Yeah. So, Loretta, your thoughts?
We can achieve a balanced diet, but we have to be disciplined. And when I say discipline, it takes a lot of strength. You sometimes have to be in prayer to avoid, yes, going out of the norm. No, a balanced diet in Jamaica, I would put it in Jamaica, it's difficult to achieve. And why do I say so? There are times when the cost of living and the cost of the right food that you want to choose is very expensive. But you have to be very determined, and so you can achieve it.
So in when you consider not just your nutrition, but even things like work, that balance between, for instance, work and relationships, ensuring that you are present in those moments with whether it be family members or friends, or just nurturing relationships. Like, do you have any advice, Miss Collins, for maintaining that balance?
All right. For me, you have to have a time when you turn off the phone. Yes. The phone also contributes to a lot of us talking to relatives.
Look at Jonathan.
Yes,
I feel
on the social media, and you have to turn off the phone.
You do understand this is a a lot of young people are on this show. So are you sure that's the advice you want to give?
Yes, you have to put on the phone sometime. You have to be seen. You have to sometime put it on vibrate and look at it ringing and decide not to answer it. Just for your moment. That moment that you have to take, that time. Well, church is a must. And so you have to know that I attend a Baptist church, and I know that Sunday morning I have to get up to go out. But between that time, you have to basically do a little introspect and say, less talking with some friends sometimes, less going out and to relax and to get that rest. As the body has to get the rest in order for the mind to be able to, for you to think clearly at all times. And you have to also make sure that you eat enough for energy, but not too much. So you have to basically look at your diet, what you take in. It is important.
Wow.
And depends on the type of work that you do also. If you know that you don't, if you are doing a sitting down job, you can't take too much carbohydrate and all of those foods. You have to make sure that it is balanced. It's important that it's balanced. Although it is expensive.
Why is Jonathan looking so convicted? Why are you? I think you might be stepping on some toes, Miss Collins.
You know what?
Jonathan is over here twisted in his chair.
Hey, our producer said we need to take a break. We're going to take a break and then we're going to come back to the intervention. I mean the show. Right?
All right.
You can stay with us.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection.
Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot, hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM, grow your mind. Jim, get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving all their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at Vibe. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station, Love 101.
Youth connection. Shuboti and them figured he provide everything on vibe people we try.
Every Saturday, 7 p.m. to midnight on Love 101. You're invited to travel in time with music at its best. It's the Gospel Music Machine with the Gospel Music Master. From your favorite choir music to Christian contemporary, a touch of reggae and the Caribbean feel.
Gospel Music Machine. Nigel Wilkinson.
Till I play the tune. Yep, the Gospel Music Master is still playing the tunes down alone. And he's definitely your music master. Saturday, 7 p.m. to midnight. You won't regret the link. It's on the family station, Love 101.
All right, all right. Welcome back to Campus Connection. If you are just joining us, we are discussing the very important matter of healthy life balance. And joining us this evening is Shadeen Williamson, teacher of food, nutrition, and health at Port Antonio High, and Loretta Dawes Collins, educator and justice of the peace. Very, very interesting and thought-provoking conversation we're having here. Earlier, Ms. Loretta was sharing with us about the importance of, understanding that things need to be done in moderation. That's what I got.
That's what you got.
Based on what she was saying, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, not too much of this, not too much of that. But the question I want to ask, based on the thoughts that came to me while she was speaking, when we think of life and the different aspects of life, how can we truly achieve balance? Like, is it possible? I really want to know if it is possible. We
They
need to have this
already said
question
yes.
answered.
They both said yes.
No, man. Truly possible when we think about it. All right, you know what? I'm not going to ask a question. But Shadeen, based on what you see with our young people now and where you are in the classroom and all of that, what can you say are some of the limiting factors, some of the things that are causing our youth to not live a healthy, balanced life?
There's a lot of factors, but the main one I'd say starts from the home. Yes, because speaking to my students, and sometimes I ask, I start the lesson with a question. And being a food, nutrition, and health teacher, I ask, so what is a healthy breakfast? What did you have for breakfast this morning? And most of them would say a cup noodle. No, yes. And they're going to defend it that is healthy because it's something warm. And grandma said you have to have something warm in your stomach. So having a cup noodle to them is healthy. So now I have to be the bearer of bad news to let them know that this cup noodle is not really giving you the nutrients that you need. So this is why you're drowsy in class. This is why you can't remember anything. So as soon as the teacher finished teaching her class and she asks you a question, you have no idea what she's talking about, because the food that we eat nourishes the mind. Now, if it
Mm-hmm.
is that you give it empty emptiness, you're going to get back emptiness. So whatever you put in, that's what you're going to get out. So I think what we can do and what we have been doing over the years, have that talk when the mothers go into the clinics, and the midwives will come out and tell them how to breastfeed the baby, how to feed the 6-month baby, from the family pot, and tell you what is nutritious to the baby at that age and stage, and what the baby needs to develop. So if it is that we can go back to those days and teach the mothers how to feed the babies and how to feed themselves, because they need the nutrients as well. While breastfeeding, they need the proper nutrients as well for themselves to rebuild their body, and also to have a healthy baby coming up. And trust me, if it is that you feed babies vegetables and fruits, they will like it. But if you don't introduce it to them, they're not going to like it. And if you don't like it, because I've seen parents, oh, I don't like porridge, so therefore my child's not going to have any. Don't do that. Not because you don't like something. Once it's healthy, give it to the child and teach them. Plan meals together with them. Carry them in the kitchen. One thing that I
Mm-hmm.
love, carry them in the kitchen. Show them how to cut up the tomatoes. Show them how to put in, how to knead the dumpling, how to knead the flour. Show them stuff, how to prepare meals. And trust me, you'll build a lifetime, what's the word I'm looking for? You build that bond with that child, and that hunger for knowledge, and also for nutritious meals. That's where it starts from, the home.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that we rarely talk about, because nutrition, as you said, having that balanced diet is definitely one of those things that we need to address with our young people, in them having a healthy balance. But do we ever really address the whole issue of their mental health, stress management, things that young people can do to ensure that they're not overwhelmed by just the pressures of school? And not just that, but even the fact that they're exposed to a lot of harmful substances, and there might be that friend that's just around the corner saying, try this drug or try this substance. So, Mrs. Collins, how do you think young people, or just people in general, should respond to those stressors, those mental stressors, those things that would cause your mind to not be at its full functioning capacity, if you will?
Okay, they will have to get involved in a number of things outside of their friends. So the influence that they would need, they need from school the right influence, and to basically to how to choose their friends. It's important that they know how to choose their friends. It's important that they need to know how to say no to drugs. Is also important that they need to know how to say to deal with peer pressures. That is very important, because if they are not taught how to deal with peer pressures and to say no, and even bullying in school, they will end up, breaking under the pressure. And they are not able to deal with stress, because a lot of times mental wellness is also important. And I think as educators, we need to tell, especially the males, that they can cry.
Mm.
They can cry. It's not that, not stop telling the males that you're a man and you can deal with it. No, we actually need to know. And because most in education now you have more females than males, we now as females also need to tell the gentlemen that, listen me, you need to know how to deal with some of the challenges that comes at you. You will find a lot of peer pressure is there, a lot of things that they're asking you to do that you have never done or you don't know about. Go talk to your parents, and parents also need to let their children be open with them. When a
Yeah.
child comes to you with problem, just don't tell them to go away or they chat too much or they need to know how to deal with it. Teachers also need to do that.
Hmm.
Let me hope
Powerful.
I've answered your question.
Yes, certainly, certainly. You know, I find that even from a young age, pointing children to our relationship with the Lord and getting to know the Lord is one of those things, even for myself, growing up, being in
Mm-hmm.
school, that was one of the main ways that I was able to cope with a lot of the stressors. And we even heard that on our I Chose Christ feature today, Jonathan, just how,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
turning to the Lord in those times, it does really help with dealing with the challenges and pressures of school. But we do have a vox pop that we'd love to hear from some of our young people. We asked them, how do they define a balanced life? And these were their responses.
Okay, we are on campus nights. Students are strap up in a pride. We are, yeah. Oh, what a one from campus. Young people are going hard from campus. Come on, tell me what. Campus got in shot, yeah, another one. Yeah. Walk one from campus. Now we are carrying hard from campus. Come on, tell me what. Campus got in shot,
I
yeah,
think a
another
balanced life is giving time and energy to all the important aspects in your life, like work, school, if you're religious, God, and exercise.
I define a balanced life of eating healthy, exercising, and getting the right amount of sleep.
I define a balanced life as having everything set in life, like the dreams that you want to accomplish, eating healthy, exercising right, all the different types of perfect things in life. So
I define a balanced life as eating healthy, exercising, organizing and managing time properly, and having everything set in life and what you want to achieve.
I don't know exactly what a balanced life would exactly entail, but to me it would be eating right and exercising.
Okay, we are on campus nights. Students are strap up in a pride.
All right, there you have it. Vox Pop, courtesy of our wonderful students joining in on the conversation. Yeah, so unfortunately, we are out of time for this evening's show. Want to thank our guests, our amazing, amazing guests, for joining in on the conversation. Healthy life balance. Special thanks to Shadeen Williamson and Loretta Dawes Collins for being a part of that conversation. We had Arnisa Williams Blackstock earlier, and of course, Samaya Russell and Ashara Barnett earlier in the show. Special thanks to you, our listeners and our viewers. We really do appreciate you being a part of Campus Connection every single week. We absolutely love that you join in with us, to just be a part of everything that we are doing. Also, just to remind you that next week we have teacher rotation and retention, a special episode with Dr. Mark Smith. That is going to be something that you don't want to miss, right? Big ups to our team, Dr. Nadine Blair, Jermaine Johnson, Shania Smith, Daniel Cox, and David Sutton, Miss Eden Palmer, Ruth Lawrence, and Raquel Robertson. And to our lovely ladies who are still with us, thank you again for being a part of the show and all the very best for the future. Campus Connection was brought to you by Heart NSTA Trust. Skill is power. See you next week as we explore more things while going on campus. I am Jonathan Fletcher.
And I'm Anesta. We'll see you next week.